Everybody, welcome back. This is Drew Van Zee, the knee pain magician. In this week's video, I'm going to demonstrate 3 of my favorite exercises that can help show you it is possible to reduce chronic knee pain and stiffness without the reliance on injections. So this week's video is specifically for active people over the age of 50 who have been dealing with bone-on-bone arthritic knee pain and have not found lasting relief. So one major misconception in the medical world, which may be doing you a disservice, is connecting your knee pain to a structural issue. And the reality is most adults over the age of 50 years of age have deterioration within their joints when x-rayed. But up to 40% of those same people have 0 symptoms and no pain whatsoever. Okay, so what's the deal? The truth is, knee pain always comes from your brain and not your knee. And no matter what, pain is always a warning signal from your brain that it feels concerned about moving your body. So when you improve the brain-body connection, you give your brain more confidence that you're capable of moving your knee without pain or restriction. So in my 9 years of helping people with chronic pain, I've learned that these 3 drills can be great tools in helping people find lasting relief. So today we're going to work on 3 specific drills. Number 1, we're going to work on exercising and improving your visual system. Number 2, we're going to work on improving the sensation around the area where you're having your knee pain. Last but not least, we're going to work on mobilizing an important joint that's connected to your knee. So today we're going to use a pencil, a fork, and your elbow. 3 things that you may have never considered could be helpful tools in providing lasting relief. But after you go through the exercises, you're going to see that it is possible to reduce chronic arthritic knee pain without the use of injections. Okay, so before I coach you through today's exercises, what I need you to do is check in and assess how your knee is currently feeling. So there's a couple different ways to do that. Number 1, what I want you to consider is standing up and going for a bit of a walk. You don't have to go outside. You could go in your apartment or in your home, and you're just going to pay attention to overall the quality of your movement. So it may look like this. Stand up and go for a walk. How do I feel as I'm walking? Take a couple laps. You could go up and down a flight of stairs or so. I want you to pay attention to, do you have a limp? Are you kind of dragging one area of your body? Do you feel really stiff? Do you have pain? If you're currently experiencing pain, what's the scale of your pain? On a 1 to a 10. 10 being you feel terrible, 1, hey, you feel amazing. Where are you on that scale? Again, this is all personal to you. Don't worry about what other people may think or experience. What's your level of knee pain? Just have a general estimate is fine enough. After you've gone for a walk, you think about your pain scale. What's also helpful is doing some range of motion assessments. So what does that look like? You could try a few squats. Standing up, can I squat down? How do my knees feel as I'm doing that? Right? Checking for function, checking for stiffness, for pain. How are you feeling? After you've gone for a walk, thought about your pain scale, you're doing your range of motion assessments, just want you to kind of take a mental note, or actually you could take a physical note and just kind of jot down how you're feeling. So there's a concept called sensory before motor. So I want you to think sensory before motor. What does that mean? So sensory as in senses. So we want to give your brain information about what's going on in your environment, what's happening with your body, so that it can make a decision about how safe you are and what it needs you to do. After sensory comes motor. So after your brain gets the information about your body, what's going on around you, it makes a decision. That's called a motor output. So your brain relies on information, sensory, takes that information to decide, are you safe? And then it decides what's an appropriate response to kind of keep you safe. So sensory input, motor output. So in order for you to have less pain and move your knee better, which is an output, we need to think about giving your brain the right sensory input first. So one great exercise to do is called a pencil push-up. So that's why I brought my pencil today to demonstrate. And what we're going to do is a very simple exercise. You could do this sitting down. If you don't have a pencil, you can use your finger or your thumb instead. And what we're going to be working on is something called convergence. That's when your eyes are looking close, tracking an object. And divergence, that's when your eyes are moving away from your body, looking outwards. So this movement, eyes going in, is convergence, and eyes moving out is called divergence. There's a relationship between that eye movement and bending and extending your knee. When your eyes move in, that's considered flexion. I want you to think bending your knee. When your eyes move out, that's considered extension. I want you to think lengthening or straightening your knee. So if you have trouble doing that, don't worry about moving the knee first. We're going to work on moving your eyes first. So eyes can tell the brain how to move the body, and then your brain can give your knee less pain and stiffness when you move. Sounds crazy. That's why we're going to do it, so you can actually feel and experience the power. Okay, so you have your trusty pen or pencil. What you're going to do is have really good posture. Remember to breathe. Try to relax any tension that you're having in your body. And if you look at my eyes, I'm going to hold this pen about eye level, and I'm going to track it with both of my eyes, and I'm going to follow it closely as it comes towards the tip of my nose. And I'm going to bring it in as close as I can, as long as I can see single vision. If I begin to see double vision, I'm going to stop, and I'm going to push the pen all the way back out. The goal of the exercise is for both of your eyes to track the pen or pencil as it's coming as close to you as possible, and then tracking the pencil as it moves away. So following in, following out. I'm breathing, I've got good posture, I'm not too tense anywhere in my body, and I could feel my eyes moving in and out. If the pencil gets a little bit blurry, that's okay. What you want to avoid is double vision. Double vision is a red flag, and that can cause you more pain and stiffness and dysfunction in your knee. So if you see double vision, you need to find a way where you could do this exercise without going into that. So change your range of motion, maybe sit down or even lie down so the exercise is less threatening and more doable for your nervous system. So I want you to do this pencil push-up eye exercise about 5 reps. What I want you to pay attention to is seeing double vision. Also, that you're favoring one side of your face than another. So if you're bringing the pencil to the left side of your nose or to the right side, that's an indicator that one eye is much stronger than another. And so your body's just compensating. Also pay attention to if you begin to feel like you're kind of stressed out or you're sweating or that your eyes are blinking a lot. All of these different things are what's called a threat response, and just means that this simple vision exercise, because your eyes may be a little bit weak, because you may not have trained them recently or ever, it's just a little bit too overwhelming for your brain to handle. But it's really important in order for you to feel and move well, so we just need to find a way that you could do it without creating a problem. After you do 5 reps or so of the pencil push-ups, I want you to repeat the assessments that we did earlier. So which was going for a walk, going up and down a few stairs, doing a squat or a couple, and paying attention to your pain scale. So now we're going to move on to our next exercise. Okay, so now we're going to work on improving the sensation around the area where you're experiencing knee pain. So to do that, I've got this trusty tool, a fork, and preferably you're going to be able to get skin contact. So if you have a pant leg, just roll that up, and we want to be able to access the tissue and the skin around your knee. So I'm going to be demonstrating on my right knee. So if you have left knee pain, you're going to be working on that side instead. But for here, I'm going to take this fork, and I'm just going to poke all around where I am experiencing pain. If you have had surgery before, this is going to be a particularly high payoff, valuable exercise for you. Because when you had surgery and you have that scar, all that tissue and important muscles and things were cut, and your brain can often get disconnected to that area for obvious reasons. So one thing I've noticed over the years working with people who have chronic knee pain if they've already had surgery, that they have a lot of numbness in that area. As you're doing this, you may experience that you also have areas that feel a little bit numb or that kind of lack the same sensation that you have in other areas of your skin or knee. If so, that is a red flag. Your brain needs to have a really clear kind of connection to your knee, right, to your tissue. And if it doesn't, that's kind of like a warning signal to your brain that it's not really in control of your knee. And when that happens, that's when your brain is trying to communicate with you that there could be a problem or a risk of injury. So it sends out pain and stiffness to try to slow you down and protect you. So what you can see that I'm doing is I've just been poking all around my knee with this fork. I also want you to go around the backside as well. So if you've got a scar, I want you to poke all around, up and down that scar, side to side. You're poking below the knee, the side of the knee, front of the knee, the top of the knee, and just go really thorough and pay specific attention to if there's areas where you feel a little bit of numbness. If so, you're going to write that down, and this is going to be something you want to practice moving forward. Okay, so after you have worked on improving sensation around your knee, what I want you to do is, again, go for another walk, check in with your body, move up and down a few stairs, do a couple of squats, pay attention to your pain scale, and see now, after you've worked on that exercise, how does your knee feel? Do you have less pain, less stiffness? Do you feel like when you're moving that things are moving more smoothly, that you have more control, better quality of movement? That's what we're looking for. Okay, so for the third and final exercise of this week's video, we're going to be working on mobilizing the elbow on the opposite side of your body. So if you have right knee pain, you're going to be working on mobilizing the left elbow joint. If you have left knee pain, you're going to be working on mobilizing the right elbow joint. Who would have ever thought your elbows are connected to your knees? It sounds crazy until you get a little bit of education about it. So we are bipedal creatures. So when we're walking, we're transferring energy. When you step down with your right foot, energy comes up from the ground, hits your right ankle. From your ankle, it moves up to your right knee, then it hits your right hip. Once the energy transfers from your hip, it goes up your spine and it transfers over to the opposite side of your body. So what happens on the lower right-hand side of your body is connected to what happens on the upper left-hand side of your body. So I want you to think of your body as a big X, and the center of your X is your pelvis. So obviously we have lots of joints in our body, but I just want you to think of kind of the big joint complexes to begin with. From your pelvis, you have your right hip, and then you have your left shoulder. Below your right hip, you have your right knee. And beyond your left shoulder, you have your left elbow, and so forth. Wrists and ankles are connected, and toes and fingers are also connected. So, crazy, big picture concept, but that's why we're demonstrating the exercise so that you can see the value in brain-based training. So what I want you to do is you're going to be rubbing that left elbow. Rub it, rub it, rub it. This is called skin stimulation. It helps your brain and nervous system get more connected to the area that you are trying to work. Okay, now that it's alive and awake and your brain feels, okay, I know where my left elbow is, what you're going to do is extend that left arm out in front of you. So as you extend that left arm out, if you're standing up, you're going to have your right leg forward. Yeah. So what I want you to imagine is that your elbow is going to face me while you're watching the video, and you're going to bend your elbow, rotate your palm underneath your chin, beyond your shoulder, and extend all the way back out. So palm down, rotating under my chin, beyond my shoulder, keeping as flexed as possible. And then once I can't go any further, I'm going to extend and lock out the elbow joint. So I am bending, creating a circle, and extending, getting a full range of motion within that left elbow joint. Feel free to move your arm in any position if you're having difficulties with that shoulder or arm. But for the demonstration of this exercise, I'm just putting my arm in this one position. So obviously this is one direction, but now I want to do the other direction. So imagine you're a waitress. You've got a plate of food on your palm, or a waiter. You're rotating around by your shoulder, palm down, circling back underneath your chin, moving forward, locking out the elbow. It's important that you bend and extend that joint as much as possible. Palm up, rotating around, palm down, circling underneath. Palm up, rotate around, palm down, circle underneath. Remember to breathe. Try to get a full range of motion and just develop nice coordination and flow of movement. And I would like you at home to try to do 10 circles one direction and 10 circles the other direction. I'm going to shake it off. I'll give you a little bit of a zoom in so you can see it better. So we start here, palm in, we come around and extend out. Palm up, come around, palm down, extend forward. Once you finish that exercise, you're going to feel a little bit of a burn in the shoulder. That's okay. It happens to me as well. Rub that elbow if you need to, and then you're going to do your last assessment. So this is your great opportunity to check in with your body by going for another walk, paying attention to the quality of your movement, your gait, going up and down a couple of stairs, trying a few more squats, paying attention to your pain scale. What's your level of pain now? What's your level of stiffness? What's the quality of the movement you have, not only within your knee, but maybe the whole body? What I tend to see the vast majority of times when I'm working with people who have chronic osteoarthritic knees is that these three exercises in particular give them a huge benefit. And if you've noticed, the only thing we did with your knee is just provide stimulation on the skin and tissue around it. We haven't moved it at all. So the chances are these three exercises provided a drastic reduction in knee pain and stiffness in your body. It's pretty cool, right? It's like, who would have thought improving your vision, working on the skin with a fork, moving the elbow on the opposite side of your body? Like, how are these things connected to my pain and stiffness in the knee that I've been diagnosed or that I've been told I have arthritis and chronic degeneration? The reality is pain always comes from your brain, and it's just a signal that it feels disconnected to and concerned about moving your body. But when you improve your vision, you give your brain so much information about what's going around you. When you improve the sensation in the tissue around your skin, your brain feels more connected to that area. When you mobilize the opposing joint in your body, you're kind of restoring the natural flow of joints in your body that is going to help you reduce pain and stiffness in that knee. So hopefully you found this week's video helpful. If so, I always appreciate your support. You could click the like button and subscribe to my channel. That would be amazing. In addition to that, if you're someone who's been struggling with chronic knee pain for quite some time, and it's really prevented you from continuing to be active like you love, maybe it's hiking or gardening or playing with your grandkids or getting out and exploring the world and traveling. If those are your interests and you're also interested and resonate with this approach about improving the brain-body connection, and that you are pretty determined not to rely on injections and surgery down the road, then I invite you to watch a free training I have below. It's a webinar on knee pain, understanding the brain-body connection, and it could be a great gateway for you to see lasting relief. So that's it for this week's video. Appreciate you watching the channel, and talk to you next week. Bye-bye.